Mopreme, happy to have you back on the platform, my guy.
Well, happy to be here. Happy to be here. What's happening?
Oh man, just grinding, man. But I want to get right into it, right? I don't want to waste no time. A few days ago, Keefe D, he got arrested, in connection to Tupac murder. How you feel about that?
I feel happy that there is some accountability being held, but I'm still a little suspicious about the timing and how it's all rolled out here.
Yeah, it's been about 20 plus years, man, and they finally doing something about it, man.
Oh, 27, brother. 27.
27 years, man, and they finally showing that they care.
Yeah. Yeah, that appears to be what it's supposed to look like. So we're going to see.
I know you was very vocal, man, about the police not doing their job, but how do it make you feel, man? After all these years of Keefe D doing interviews, talking about Tupac getting shot, him doing documentaries, he was on BET, and after all these years, he get arrested.
Yeah, I feel fucking mad still that motherfucker murdered my brother. First of all, that's that part. Cause they ain't even have to happen. Cause Pac was the type of nigga that will box you. He will box you. He will box you, raise the money, and we'll give it to the hood. He will actually, you know what I mean? But a lot of niggas is cowards. So
Do you feel like they're gonna bring justice?
I there's a lot of curious things about what's been happening. First of all, like everybody knows, the time period, 27 years. And there was no, well, as far as the family is concerned, there was no, letting us know what was going on all through these years, after 2 years, after 5 years, after 10 years. We weren't kept abreast of things. So it's okay, what's happening? What's really going on? Especially when this dude has been out there. Like I said last time, the dude's been out there talking, interviews, like, he ain't worried about nothing. And actually, you know, we produced a documentary 2718 with A&E, Who Killed Tupac. We got footage of him in it. So I'm not impressed. I feel like shit, we solved the crime. To tell the truth. The information has been there. So does this mean that y'all haven't even been looking at it? Y'all haven't been addressing Pac's case at all? Okay, if so, then why now? There's a lot of shit that.
Right, right. I know you was also adamant, man, about the police not liking Tupac because he shot two off-duty cops, and you felt like they was holding that against Tupac. And also, he was a Shakur too, so.
Well, we've we've sort of inherited uh this relationship with law enforcement going back to our parents. You know what I mean? Our parents to, me and Pac riding in the mid-90s to, law enforcement has been all up around us, including the feds, And it's gonna be interesting to see if the feds chime in here. Um, you know, crooked cops were involved. Which state? I don't know. Both states? Maybe. I don't know. But we gonna see. I'm a spectator. At this point, I'm a spectator. Me and my family have found ways to manage the stress and trauma. So to keep our own sanity. You dig? So we've been doing that and having to live with the fact that Pac ain't with us no more. And now, sport back up. We're being reminded. We're being reminded of the pain. We're being reminded of the injustice. We're being reminded of the assassination. It's a lot of things we're being reminded of. So, we gonna see.
You made a comment, man, that caught my attention. You said that you feel like crooked cops played a part in Tupac murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go into detail about that if you don't mind. That's an interesting take.
Uh, Details? Well, I mean,
From your point of view, why you feel like that?
law enforcement is supposed to protect and serve, and the protection and serving part when it comes to young black males, my people, my community has been lackluster. You dig? For example, that very night, I think some bicycle cops uh, pulled them over. You know, there's a lot of people on the strip. So we pulled them over and then forgot. I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed funny. That very night, law enforcement, they had to run in with law enforcement. Not a run in, but it's interaction with law enforcement. That very
For
same,
loud music.
huh?
They got pulled over for loud music.
Yeah, yeah. Supposedly, and Vegas is a tricky town. Vegas is a tricky town. So I'm just waiting to see.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see what happens. But I was looking at one of your interviews, man, and you made a comment, that caught my attention. You made a comment saying that you want to see how serious the LAPD is going to take this case because it's a lot of people that Keefe D name dropped, and you want to see if the LAPD is going to investigate them, and that's how you can tell if the LAPD is taking it serious.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm curious to see how they plan to deal with the case because he, in his own admissions, mentions other people. Are they going to say what happened to these people? Yes, Puffy being one of them. Uh, I don't know where that's going to lead, but I do believe there were accomplices, and I don't think all of them have been looked at. So, because over the years, it's a lot of years, amongst the family, we talk, we want to figure it out too. We thinking certain things too. So, we're waiting to see if we can trust this process.
I agree. I agree with you. If you believe in everything Keefe D is saying about what happened in the white Cadillac, then you got to take serious when he mentioned Puffy, and you can't gloss over that.
Affirmative. It's like they said they brought the indictment because of his own words. Well, in his own words, he said a whole bunch of shit. How much you going to hold him accountable for? Because as well as the family, the fans, his people, the fans, his Pac's fans is his family. They run deep, and they don't usually bullshit, and they sincerely want to know what happened, as well as us, as well as the fam. So we gonna see.
We definitely gonna see. So I had Keefe D on the platform. I had him on the platform about 5 times, man. And he said that Diddy, he was scared of Tupac and Suge, and when he would come to LA, he would use him and the Southside Crips, for protection. And he made so many comments on my platform, man. He also made a comment saying that, Diddy, when he was around Diddy made a comment about putting a hit on Tupac and Suge. So how you feel when you hear stuff like that?
Very interesting. I wasn't there. I've heard these stories before. Um, and if it's true, you know what's going to happen. You say on your own platform. He said this on your platform that he put up $1 million to get Pac here.
Yeah, correct. He was around Puffy, and Puffy made a comment when they was around. Yeah,
Okay. And then Pac got hit.
you're right.
Right. So, hey man, I watch Law and Order. I ain't no cop. I ain't no lawyer. I watch Law and Order. You know what I'm saying? And the way this is going, it looks like a certain type of thing is going down. We gonna see.
Yeah, because I mean, if everything Keefe D is saying is true, and this is Keefe D saying this, not me, Keefe D, he's the one saying this. I mean, Tupac and Orlando, they would have never fought. Tupac, he would have never got killed. I mean, none of this would have never happened, man, if it wasn't for that bounty, right?
It would seem so. It would seem so. Am I right?
You're right.
I. It would seem so. And then my brother was murdered. Uh, I know a lot of brothers I know in LA that if they were doing business with a group of brothers and one of them, well, he wasn't then, but now, he's a billionaire, right? That's what he said. He a billionaire, right? He got bread. And I don't see that individual not paying for it in some kind of way. What was the incentive? What was the incentive? Was the incentive just revenge, or was the incentive for that supposed money that Puffy supposedly put up? Which one was the incentive? That's what I guess they're going to figure out in court.
We're gonna see, man, because I agree with you. If they taking this case serious, then they got to interview Puffy. I mean, you got to.
I mean, that's Puffy's homie. You know what I mean? They have a relationship. They're friendly. They know each other. So it's very much feasible. And if law enforcement choose to ignore that, that's something to look at. Everybody keep your eyes on it. And that's what I said. Grab your popcorn. It's going down.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. I mean, if everything is legit with the investigation, they got to look into Diddy. But I want to backtrack, right? I want to backtrack into Quad Studios. Tupac, he felt like Diddy had something to do with that, right?
He felt like he was set up because he thought he was amongst friends. And when it went down, he was surrounded by a bunch of people we thought was his friends.
And he felt like Puffy, he knew what was going to happen, and he didn't give him a heads up.
Well, yeah. I mean, he sees up in the window, like, come up, come on, come up. And everybody drawing him in, drawing him in, drawing him in. Come to the studio, come to the studio. You know what I mean? And Bad Boy had saturated the whole that neighborhood. That they were in the studio, multiple rooms in the studio, and they were shooting a video around the corner. So Bad Boy and their allies had covered that whole neighborhood. They were there. Pac wasn't. They weren't nothing for Pac to fear because we were supposed to have been amongst allies. So something happened. Somebody knew.
Yeah, I can see how Pac felt like they had something to do with the setup, man. But speaking of Puffy, right? How do you feel about the rumor that Puffy, he gave a guy named Eric Von Zip a check for $1 million to give to Keefe D to kill Tupac?
I'm familiar with the story. I'm familiar with the dude. My man Big Psych, rest in peace, used to know that dude.
So you met Von Zip before. So how does that make you feel, man? Somebody that you met, and I'm sure that he knew that she was Tupac's brother. How does that make you feel knowing that he's the one that provided Keefe D with the gun to kill Tupac?
I mean, it's all fucked up. It was it was a setup. It was a plot to murder my brother. I feel fucked up about it. I don't know that nigga, but I ain't got no love for none of them. Straight up. It sounds like a typical murder plot. See, but considering who that guy is to Puffy and to Keefe D, for it not to be addressed is weird. We will see. My homie Big Psych knew him. He used to be at some of them basketball games where dude was, putting up a case of champagne, case of Moet on the ball game. He was a big, big spender, flashy dude. Yeah. No, he would be out on the West Coast quite often.
Did you and Big Sight know he had any connection to Pac?
Not at that time. Before Psych passed, he mentioned that he knew who he was, but dude was already dead. Psych was a Crip. Psych was an IVC Inglewood Village Crip. And he hung around. Psych would be around other Crips. So that's how, in that is how we got to meet dude or knew who dude was, but I didn't know him personally.
I want you to look at this video from the local Vegas news. They saying that Big Dre, he the one that shot Tupac, not Orlando. Check your phone.
It's an investigation that began with this video from 1996. A fight involving Shakur, record exec Suge Knight, and members of a rival gang. Hours later, Davis, the kingpin of that other group, allegedly ordered the retaliatory shooting. A Southside Crips gang affiliate testifying, Keefe is the one who's going to make all the arrangements and all the plans until that gun goes into somebody else's hand. Davis was sitting in the front passenger seat of another car when it pulled up side by side to Shakur's. In his book, Davis says he handed a gun to a passenger in the back seat who then fired. Metro Police showing this diagram Friday with Orlando Anderson, Davis's nephew, and DeAndre Smith in the back seat. Both are deceased. The gang member saying when he passed the firearm to Orlando, Orlando didn't have a clear shot. Big Dre is 6'6". At this time, he's 370, 400. He's big. You're not going to reach over like that because shells would have been popping all in Big Dre's face and all kind of stuff. When asked if Smith was the shooter, the gang affiliate told the grand jury he did the shooting.
Dwayne Davis was the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed this crime, and he orchestrated the plan that was carried out.
A member of Shakur's security team saying he saw a, quote, larger size arm fired the shots.
Crazy, man. They saying that Big Dre, he the one that killed Tupac.
Is he dead too?
Yeah, he's dead. He died over health issues. He was a real big guy.
Yeah. Well, I, I, it's interesting. That's interesting, and all of it's possible. If they was in the car, they was in the car. They making up the story. He making up the story. So the only thing that looks like is solid is knowing who was in the car. Because it could have easily been him or anybody else in the car.
From what the Crip affiliate is saying, it does make sense. I mean, if Big Dre was 400 pounds, like he say, then I mean, it would be difficult for Orlando to get a clear shot at Pac if he had to lean over Big Dre.
Okay, that's one theory. But on the other hand, if dude was that big, I got a lot of big homies like that, right? And it's hard for them to, if you're shooting, it's, it's the turning radius is a little shorter. You know what I'm saying? The turning radius ain't that good. I don't know. I think both of them it could be possible, but it doesn't matter because they both gone, and we're left to, believe whatever Keefe D says. This Crip affiliate just came about, so this is new information for me. But they was all in the same car, all on the same mission.
Real talk. It's crazy, man. You got Keefe D saying that he gave the gun to Big Dre, and Big Dre, he got cold feet. So, Orlando, he took the gun and shot Pac. And now you got this Crip affiliate saying that it was Big Dre that shot Pac. So, I don't know, man. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, both theories are feasible. Both theories are feasible. You're only gonna know if you're an insider with them and know what's up. So maybe this Crip affiliate is right, but I'm still waiting for the rest of the information because it in a way it sort of seems like they're trying to minimize it to just gang shit. Just ignorant niggas who got in a fight, and then it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. I feel anyway. But what do I know? I don't know nothing, right?
So let's talk about it, man. So you feel like it was bigger than Orlando shooting Pac? You feel like it's more to the story? You don't think it was that simple?
I feel like it's bigger because I haven't heard anything about that part of the story from the prosecutor's office. I haven't heard anything about Puffy from the prosecutor's office, even though Keefe D implicates him on these videos that they claim they're using to indict him. Even you got a Crip affiliate from somewhere, but you still not gonna talk about the guy that he mentions by name on the thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's exhausting. That you know, or you know, I'm waiting to see how far they go, because that's what everybody's talking about. That's what everybody's talking about. What about Puffy? You know, so it would be weird that the prosecutor's office wouldn't know and address it. That's why I don't know whether to trust this shit or not. You know, the boy Puffy called me though. Puffy called me back in the day. Back in the day, he called me. He was like, "I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brothers. You know, I know who you are, but we never met. And I just want to call you man to man, let you know that I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's death." Now, why was he calling me, reaching out to me? Because LA Times had just dropped, it was in the early 2000s. LA Times had just dropped an article in the newspaper implicating him as well. I told him I appreciate the call, but the truth is yet to come out, so we gonna see.
And I remember that article, man. And the guy that wrote that article, he actually did a few Tupac interviews when Tupac was still living. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. So Puffy, he called you trying to plead his innocence.
Well, him and I think him and C's was on the radio out here, and Big Boy, shout out to Big Boy. He hit me up. He was like, "Yo, man, you know, Puffy, see, they want to talk to you about the whole situation about your brother." And you know, especially back then, I wanted all the information I could get. And I heard what he said, but you know, the shit been so chaotic. I ain't know which way to go until you find out more information. And yeah, that was the early 2000s.
Did Little C say anything to you?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, that sounds like a guy that's guilty, man. Him calling you trying to plead his innocence.
Yeah, man, you know, yeah, he could have been trying to cover his ass, or he could have been sincere. We gonna see.
It's just too many attachments to Diddy, man. At some point, you got to start looking like, yo, what's going on? I mean, when Tupac got shot at Quad, you know, they was talking about Diddy. When Tupac got killed in Vegas, they was talking about Diddy. At some point, man, you got to start looking at them like, yo, what's going on, yo?
Yeah, and you know, you got people like you know, Kading is out, you know, doing interviews and talking about, you know, it be feeling like he got sympathy for Puffy because he was scared. Yeah, he was scared. Yes, I agree. I do agree that he was probably terrified for his life. So if that is the case, it's also quite feasible that he put up money to get Pac killed. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's weird. But we gonna see. Time will tell. And on top of it, he had his own problems with Suge, you know, before Pac. So, um, mm, yeah, I get it. You should be scared, nigga. You know, but hey, you know, like I said, man, Pac would have boxed him. Pac would have loved to beat his ass in the ring, raise some money, and give it to the hood. It ain't have to be like this. For the record, we were cool with them at one point. We were cool with them at one point. There was a point where Pac was even considering going to Bad Boy before his relationship with Death Row. He's considering going to Bad Boy to because he wanted to be on a black label. He wanted to be with his people. He wanted to be with the brothers. You know what I mean? He supported black business. So there was a period where we were all cool. And over time, you know, things happened. Pac started seeing things. And, you know, Biggie was on Puffy's label. So, you know, with them two, it was Puffy calling the shots. So there was some legitimate problems there, but
Speaking of Puffy and Biggie, what was the issue between Pac and Big Stretch?
you say that to last, huh? I see you. You say that to last, huh? Nah, I mean, Pac and Stretch were best friends. Pac and Stretch were best friends. Stretch was with him when he got shot at Quad. And after that, Stretch went on tour with Biggie. So anybody familiar with our clique would understand that that's weird. Because if you was rolling with Pac, you was rolling with Pac. He was kind of, he was kind of jealous like that. These my people. This is my crew. This, you down with me. You down with the best. So, and considering Pac was having some issues with Biggie, it did not look right.
Right. And Pac, he also felt like he had something to do with what happened at Quad, right? Because I know that Pac made a comment saying that, when they pulled out the guns, the way he reacted in a way like he already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, that was Pac's sentiment. That, I mean, Stretch was a big dude, about 6'4", 300. But Pac claimed that as soon as the niggas pull out, he dropped down. And it was disturbing to hear that. It was disturbing to think about. It was disturbing to deal with because the whole family loved Stretch. Everybody loved Stretch. Stretch was a lovable dude, but we all got our demons.
Real talk, man. And Pac, he was really the only person that was giving him an opportunity, right? Because, I mean, Pac, he was letting him produce for him. And, I mean, the only person outside of Pac that was working with him was Nas, right?
Oh, definitely. Stretch was down with Thug Life. You know what I mean? He was our East Coast, part of our East Coast fraction. You know what I mean? He produced on Pac's actual albums as well as the Thug Life album. They were boys. They were boys.
Yeah, the way he did Pac at the end, yeah, that was two-faced, man. But I want to go back to the Vegas incident, right? How do you feel about Keefe D saying that the only reason why they shot Pac is because they seen him reaching for a gun?
I feel like that's bullshit because most of the time, a lot of times, when we was with the road, we were unarmed. We had security. So Pac was strapped a lot less in them days.
And he was on probation, right? So he couldn't carry a gun, right?
He could, but he didn't. He won't trying to go back to jail. Suge won't trying to let his cash cow go back to jail on some bullshit.
Right. Yeah, I figured that, man, because I know Tupac, he was out on bail, so I know he couldn't carry a gun. But Tupac, right? Do you think it was a target put on his back because y'all family was the Black Panthers?
Absolutely. Federally, they've always been there. They've always been there around us, watching us, all up on us. But then Pac actually shot a cop, So the diehards is going to hate him forever, even though the cops were wrong, in the wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I have a lot of people that feel like that's the reason why they didn't, even solve his murder, and it's been 27 years. Because they was like, yo, fuck it. He shot 2 off-duty cops. He ain't like cops, so why we gonna help him?
Yep. Because, law enforcement has problems of its own that is seldom dealt with. So, that bullshit trickles down. By the time, by the time it's time for us to get justice, that shit watered way down. Everybody know there's corruption in law enforcement. I'll say in general, but LA, New York, Vegas, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely corruption. But I want to get your point of view on this, right? How you feel about the people that blame the East versus West beef on Pac? Because like you were saying, man, before Tupac came into the picture, Diddy and Suge already had beef.
I feel it's sucker shit. I feel it's bullshit. I feel that whole thing. It was like regional. Who's the regional king of the hill? New York felt like because it was rap, they should be number one. The West Coast was in the game and they was getting money. It was outweighing the East Coast and they was catching feelings. Honestly, that's what I feel. We Pac and we got a bunch of allies on the East Coast. We all from the East Coast. I'm from South Side Jamaica, Queens. You know, but I got friends internationally. You know, I'm all world. We all world. So there is affection for New York because we was from there. Pac was always trying to make alliances. As nice and smooth. As there's so many East Coast artists that we allies with. Tretch, Latifah. I could go on, but some of that is bullshit. They even was hating on I remember them hating on Cuban and Lynch Mob when they first came out. The Cuban Lynch Mob couldn't get no play on the radio way before we, kicked off. So that sentiment had been there. And then here comes Pac. Oh shit, a fucking superstar and an actor? Oh fuck, But we always was trying to make allies. Like I said, Pac was trying to ally with Big. Get him down with us so we could be bigger. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody was ever doubting the talent of East Coast artists and drive. It was just, business. Business got better somewhere and it wasn't as good on the East Coast.
Well said, man. Well said. I'm happy you cleared that up, man, because I've been hearing that for a while, man. People trying to put that on Tupac, and you even got people try to, put Biggie getting killed on Tupac. So it's crazy, man.
Exactly. And now the thing is, though, ain't nobody ever seen nobody like Pac before. Ain't nobody had no interaction with a individual artist like Pac before, and and watch him deal with the struggles of the industry. You know what I mean? You got to see him angry. You got to see him upset. You know what I mean? But he was also young. He was a young dude. So yeah, he was going to flash. Fuck y'all. You know what I mean? Simply, Pac was raw. So those other circumstances plus the phenomenon of Pac, it just like
Real talk, man. But I want to show you this video, right? DJ Clark Kent, he made some comments about Tupac, and he blamed Tupac for, Biggie getting killed. So I want you to check this out, man.
Biggie's dead because Pac lied. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't lie, we don't have an East Coast, West Coast beef. We don't have, he's dead because he lied.
Give me the lie.
He said that Biggie set him up. You know Biggie didn't set you up. You know he didn't set you up. You know that he didn't know you was coming to the studio. You know that. Why would you say that? You know, you're 1,000% sure. Why would you say that? That is the reason why they took our mans from us. Because one lie.
Do you think it was a lie or a misunderstanding?
No, it was a lie. And he knew that. He knew it had nothing to do with Biggie, 1,000%.
Then why do you think he said that?
Because he didn't want to say what really happened. How about that?
I don't know what the fuck he talking about, but it's unfortunate. People is biased, I mean, I get it. People, Big always gonna have somebody supporting him in some kind of way. I think Pac did work with Clark Kent a little bit. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, that's kind of bullshit. And some niggas need attention. Some niggas need to be attention, need to be in the conversation, need to say something, but you still talking about Pac 30 years later. So I don't know what the fuck wrong with niggas. But hate on, hater. Hate on. The thing is though, ain't nobody ever seen nobody like Pac before. Ain't nobody had no interaction with a individual or artist like Pac before, you know, and watch him deal with the struggles of the industry. You know what I mean? You got to see him angry. You got to see him upset. You know what I mean? But he was also young. He was a young dude. So yeah, he was going to flash y'all. You know what I mean? Simply, you know, Pac was raw. So those other circumstances plus the phenomenon of Pac, you know, it just like you know.
Suge Knight. How you feel about Suge Knight coming out saying that he's not going to testify in Tupac murder case?
I don't feel nothing, but you know, I'm not surprised. You know, we all know who he is and how we get down, so that don't surprise me. I will say that that he is in the system, and when you're in the system, you got to be careful how you move. So I will say that. Just waiting on all the info, man. It's so complicated, convoluted, chaotic. It's hard to actually figure out what's what, but it's becoming clearer. It's becoming clearer and clearer. But don't blink because things are moving, things are happening. And ain't no telling what's going to happen next. So, you know, I'm just bracing for, because anything can happen. Anything can happen. And I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want my family disappointed. We would like to have justice, but I know what we're dealing with.
When was the last time you spoke to Pac, out of curiosity?
Like I said, we tried to communicate in the hospital, but he couldn't speak. He had tubes all in him. But the last time before that, I was at his house listening to Machiavelli, 7-Day Theory, just me and him. At that time, he was excited about his album. He wanted me to hear his album real bad. He kept telling me, come on, you know, we got to link up, come to the studio, come to the house. I like, nigga, I'll come to the house. And went to the house. He got a sack. He said, come upstairs. Went upstairs with his room, threw me the sack, Mo, roll something. And started playing every single song on that album. The last song was White Man's World and wasn't mixed yet. So I heard all of them except that. And he really wanted to know my opinion. He wanted to know my opinion on it, you know.
R.I.P. to Pac, man. So before we end the interview, let the people know what you got going on, man.
Shout out to my pops, Dr. Mopreme Shakur. Rest in peace, rest in power. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Like I said, my book should be out early spring, This Thug's Life, on Scrib. We have a lot of IP that we can exploit. We have a lot of stories, and it's just which one's going to be first. My father just passed away, so we're working on getting his material published, his books. We have, you know, we need another Pac story, right? Then I have a story, me and Pac, the brothers, how we came up. Then it's my father's story. Then it's the family story. We got a lot of IP, and somebody need to give us like a couple $100 million. See, let me get busy. You know what I'm saying? All right.
I definitely understand. It's a lot of stories y'all can tell, man.
Yeah, you know, we're just trying to be able to settle from trauma and loss to be able to just work for a few years, just get a few peaceful years in to get some work in. Because in the midst of all that, then we lost a fainting. And that's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to settle, focus, stiffen our resolve, and get back to getting busy. I got music to do. My pops started an album, y'all. My pops just got out of jail. He's 70-something years old with cancer. He started the album. I got to finish his album. Snake meeting with Nas. I'm like, hold up. Yo, Pops was on the chain. So I got to finish his material. You mentioned work, man. You got me going, thinking about all the work. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, I heard your Pops and Nas did a song together. Is there any truth to that or no?
Not a song. I mean, Nas shouted him out on his record. When they met, I wasn't with him, so I don't know exactly if they went to the studio or not, but Nas shouted him out. Shout out to Nas, shout out to Queens. And I do want to get him on Matulu's project. So, you know, we gonna be talking hopefully. But yeah, we were civil.
Mopreme, great interview, man. I appreciate you for blessing the platform, my guy.
God bless you. God bless you, bro. Straight ahead, power to the people. Machiavelli lives. Long live Dr. Mopreme Shakur, Fanny Shakur. Shout out to my sister Set Shakur. My little brother Talib Shakur. You know, he been home a little bit. He did like, you know, he been home a little bit. He getting his stuff together down there in Atlanta. And we pushing forward.